Hello there, welcome to the video on summer prune on a Japanese maple. This is a Dissectum. These can be a little bit more tricky to prune because it can be so dense, and also it's quite hard to decide on what to prune off to help shape your tree or thin it out or keep it a certain size you may want to restrict it to. So I'm just going to start by doing simple pruning steps first, and the first one is looking for any branches that have failed, any dieback, dead wood. There's a couple of bits on this tree that I spotted, and that's a good place to start. First off though, don't forget to sterilise your tools, your pruning shears, your pruning scissors. Give them a little bit of a spray with some household disinfectant, give them a good rinse and a good dry, and they're ready to go. Don't forget to do that once you finish pruning the tree. Clean them again so they're ready for your next tree. Okay, this tree was lifted out the ground early this year and it was potted up, and it's had a few little bits of dieback but not much. The tree looks a little bit sparse in the way of leaves. It was very late to leaf out in spring. It was early summer by the time it leafed out. We have got some bits of new growth, so what I'm going to do first is just look for the dieback and tidy the tree up that way. Easily spotted here. Instead of having nice green branching that Acer Dissectum emerald lace has, you see a pale branch there which is dieback. And it's just a matter of tracing that back to the point where it starts to die, which is here. So we're just going to leave a centimetre or so on, and that will completely die back late this year, and then next year you can always prune a little bit closer. Again, another bit of tip dye back here. And there's one major bit at the back which is easily spotted because it's got dried leaves. There's no healthy leaves on this branch, sorry. So you know that's dead. So we're just going to take that to about 2 centimetres to the main trunk, and that again will die back this coming year. This tree has had some bark issues a few years ago, so I'll keep an eye on that. It's healed up, but it's something to keep an eye on. So there we go. You will probably already spotted there by watching. Another bit which you can trace back. There's no leaves on there. I'll take that off. So just slowly go around the tree and have a look for those parts. And then once you've done that, you can stand back and it'll look a lot tidier if you've got a lot of dieback. But also the next part is how much you want to take off maybe the width. You can trim some of those wide branches, or you can trim branches that are sort of messy looking. Now normally a Dissectum has a mushroom shape, but this tree doesn't really have that. It has a lot of open spaces and a lot of branches lower down as well. So I'm going to have to stick with that flow of the tree, which I don't mind. So I'll follow each individual branch from the main trunks and keep the flow of the tree. So here you've got a higher branch here which veers off that way, but you've got branching that comes across the front of the tree, which sort of goes against the flow of the main branch going that way. It's coming off this way, it's overlapping the look of the tree and the front with those lower branches that flow that way. You see you've got another one here which just goes across. So there's two in the coming year when they grow is going to cross. So you've got cross branches which look a bit messy. So basically I have to decide if I want to remove these branches here, again just a centimetre back to the main branch, and that would open that space up and keep the flow of that branch going that way. And also this branch I would probably prune that, and that one that's crossing over as well. Keep the flow of the branches going in the same way as the main branch that it's coming from. And if I keep that with the whole shape of the tree, I should get a lot more aesthetically pleasing flow to the shape that it already has. You see we have branches here which are basically called parallel branches. Two branches here which are growing in the same direction, plus the next branch behind. You've got two branches competing for basically for the same space. Now you can remove the worst one, the worst shaped one that you can envisage in the coming year of growing. So you keep the best shape that you think it's going to grow to, and remove the other one. Gets a little bit messy here, look. Branches overlap at each other, so you can take out the worst offended ones. Now if you can see the natural flow of them ones there, or do you want to keep that side the way that's flowing? So it's a matter of personal opinion on your tree and just having a look slowly and then decide and removing the one that you want to get away with, do away with. Now sometimes easier to do your dissecting pruning in the early spring when the tree's dormant and it's bare. You can get a better look at the natural shape. But there's no harm in having a look when it's got leaves on. You can see what's crossing a little bit better and making some decisions. And it will also help the tree with its health. We'll thin it out a little bit so it's not using up all that energy after it's been repotted and dug out the ground earlier in the year. That's why it's a little bit bare compared to normal, because it's been repairing its root system, as well as combating a bad winter with frosts. So that's the tree from above. So basically I'm not going to rush this. I'm going to study the tree maybe for the next few days and decide on those branches I showed you that were crossing and stuff, and then decide what I want to do. If I rush it now, I can't put the branches back on if I make a mistake. So I'm going to be patient and decide what the best course of the action to take. I'll probably open the tree up a bit more, thin it out, take some of those cross branches and just go with the major flow of those major branches in the directions they're going in, and see how I get on. Just literally one branch at a time and see how it goes. What I'll do now also is remove, I've got some plastic mesh in the bottom of the pot on the surface, just to keep the blackbirds from digging in that spring, but also it helps to take the pressure off when I'm watering with the hose pipe. Now I'll take that off, give the top of the pot a little bit of a rake over with my fingers, with my glove on, take any little weeds off there, and put the mesh back on, dust the pot sides and the underneath in case there's any slugs hiding down there, and the tree's ready to go back in its spot until I decide to do on the further pruning. There's a few tips of dieback I can still spot there, and they'll be removed as well. But don't be too overly whelmed with dissectums. They are challenging. Just literally do it, as I've said, step by step, and you'll get there. And if it's too much, just leave it till early the spring the following year, and you can see the shape of the tree a lot better, and it's a lot easier at times as well. So it's just a little bit of introduction on the summer pruning on a dissectum. Okay, bye for now. Enjoy your pruning.